the Relationship Roundtable.
Because relationships matter.
Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm Jessica, and today we're going to understand about a woman's partner selection process and, more importantly, what women truly desire. A woman's process of falling in love and the process to ignite her desire for you is fairly similar. So what do women truly want from a man, and how would you ignite her desire for you? Let's talk. And ladies, by the way, if you want your man to understand your truest and deepest desires, you can send this video his way. The first fact is pretty basic. To be able to fall in love, a woman needs to get to know you as a person. She might know that you prefer reading a book over listening to music, or that you enjoy a good bowl of ramen noodles. But she needs to get to know you beyond the surface level and know the stories that make you who you are to understand exactly how you think. In the initial stages, she needs to know about that time that you cut your sister's hair when she was sleeping and how you turned it into a mustache on your sister's face. About how you saved up money by washing dishes at home, and that is how you got your first video game. And that time that you broke your arm when playing basketball because you got into a competitive fight with the neighbor's kid. She needs to know all of those stories. Women have a greater need to build memories with someone before falling in love with them. That includes sharing secrets and stories with one another. Women fall in love through communication. Men need that initial physical attraction, right? Whereas women, on the other hand, they can learn to fall in love by getting to know someone on a deeper level over time. She also needs to know that you're logical in your thinking process. With estrogen, known as the female sex hormone, it is also coincidentally linked to memories, learning abstract concepts, and webbed thinking. For a female, it is very important to know that the man is capable of logical thinking and deep thoughts. This is also why the nice guy willing to do anything to get the girl doesn't usually get the girl. He is so nice that he's not logically evaluating the relationship and does not know how to pace the relationship. That is a red flag to a woman and a turnoff. Because if he cannot protect himself and maintain his own self-respect and gives himself away so easily, how can he ever protect her? It is an instinctive need for women where they want to know that they can trust the potential mate to think logically and protect her in the long run. Women need to feel safe with you and know that you can protect her. There's something so incredibly beautiful about a man, stronger than you are, but who you know loves you enough to be able to do anything to protect you and your children. To understand that strength that he has will never be used against you, but only to protect you. And what is yours? Women have a deep desire to feel safe and protected by the man in her life. As a woman, I can tell you that is such an attractive quality about a man, to be so strong and yet so soft and vulnerable with his woman. It is important to remember that safety can come in different forms for women. I had a situation once where I did not feel protected by a man that I was on a date with because we were driving in a cab and both of us were seated in the back seat. And the driver adjusted his mirror, rear view mirror, to essentially look at my boobs. I turned around and showed it to this guy that I was on a date with. He acknowledged that the driver's angling of the mirror was inappropriate, but he did nothing in that moment. Him not standing up for me in that moment and protecting me was just such an instant turnoff for me. I know a friend who ultimately divorced her husband because she found out that her husband had been complaining about her behind her back to his mother. She felt like he did not protect her reputation, and that was a huge turnoff for her. She tells me that that was the core reason why she lost respect for him, and ultimately they got divorced. Feeling a sense of security for a woman could be It could be as simple as understanding that your woman just had a rough day and you going out of your way to recognize her emotional need because she had an exceptionally rough day and booking a little spa day for her. Or maybe doing your share of chores at home without being reminded, or even doing a little bit extra, right? Consistency also gives women a sense of security, especially in that initial dating phase where they don't have to wonder why you pulled back and what's going on. Guys, that doesn't really mean that you don't take your own time, but just let her know that you'll be busy doing your own thing for the next few days so that she's just not left wondering and thinking about what's going on and overanalyzing every little thing. You can have your me time, but let her have her me time too by just communicating. Don't leave the woman in a puddle of anxiety, and a little bit of communication goes such a long way to solve all these problems. And you know what? If you do your part and communicate with her and let her know that you're just kind of focusing on some other things, and she doesn't understand that, and she is continuously disrespecting your personal space, then maybe she isn't the right girl for you. You'd rather find that sooner than later, right? Men should understand that communication is important to women, but also understand that you are not responsible for managing a grown adult female's every fear, need, and insecurity. Find a woman who is emotionally intelligent and able to manage her own feelings. There's many, many, many women like that out there, right? And I always say, even in the words, I love you, the I comes before the you. So yes, I'm asking you to communicate more. But at the same time, you also want to make sure that it is a clear line and you're just not being emotionally run over. You cannot deplete yourself for anyone else. However, most women, they just want to feel protected by their man. That includes both emotional as well as physical security. And that isn't too much to ask for when you look at it from women's perspectives. This is also one of the reasons when you first start dating a woman and push for sex a little too hard, guys, a little bit too soon, it just makes her feel uncomfortable. And the woman runs away on the other end, even if she was genuinely interested in you until that point. She simply doesn't feel safe. Women are more prone to basically rapidly attaching themselves to a partner that they've already have a little crush on. Even after, like, it doesn't even have to be full-fledged sexual activity. Even some intimate time, like bonding or a little bit of cuddling, can cause women to attach to the man faster than they would like to because of higher levels of estrogen that women's bodies naturally produce. So women tend to be more protective of themselves and might take a little bit more time to have sex in their relationship. The more she likes you and wants a long-term relationship with you, the more scared she will be of opening up to you in that way. She just doesn't want to be hurt. This is true for most women. However, there are some women who are great at compartmentalizing sex and just without getting all of their feelings muddled up. Men and women, as I've mentioned before, all of us fall into a spectrum of masculinity and femininity. And just because I generalize these discussions between two binary genders for the sake of ease of conversation doesn't mean that all of us aren't an individual and all of us need to take our own times to understand ourselves first. But by and large, a woman who feels safe and secure with you is able to surrender to you in an emotional and sexual level that ignites her deepest desires and passion for the male she is with. Next, women have a deep need to be claimed and know their place in the relationship. This is one of the main reasons why women need a title in the relationship, whether that be girlfriend, fiance, wife. Women are naturally territorial in that way, and they need to understand what place they have in your life. When you have multiple women in your life, like let's say you have your mother, your sister, a friend who's a girl, all of these different women in your life, it is very important for you to be able to demarcate boundaries for each of these women so that each one knows her place in your heart and in your life. Many times, men who just don't understand this get stuck between two women in their lives, and typically it turns out to be the mother and wife, and that is just a recipe for disaster for everyone involved. A big part of giving your woman her place in your life is respectfully carving that space out for her among all the other women in your life. That is your responsibility if you have decided to bring her into your life. Provide. Women have a deep-seated need to be provided for. Women are biologically programmed to be childbearers. They have a subconscious need to know that the man is reliable and will be able to provide for her and her children. I understand that we live in a modern day of equality, and there's plenty of women out there who are able to provide for themselves financially. I am one of them. However, a gesture of chivalry where you feel provided for by your man, it just makes a woman feel taken care of in a way that words cannot explain. Maybe once you're in a steady relationship, you pay for the special dates that you go on certain occasions, like birthdays and anniversaries. Maybe you pay for every date. And, that's the way you decide to configure your relationship. You figure your partnership out. But what I am here to tell you is being provided for is just makes a woman feel so taken care of in a way that I cannot explain in words. Maybe you do the providing by fixing something up or whatever way that you can contribute. But being mindful of it just goes such a long way. A man with a plan. Let me tell you, there is nothing, and I mean nothing, more attractive than a man with a plan. I don't think men in general even understand the power of this one simple sentence. Sarah, I've made reservations for 6:30 p.m. for dinner. I'll pick you up at 6. And if you could wear that green dress you wore the other day, that would be so nice. You look beautiful in that dress. The power of that sentence, I don't think most men will ever understand. It is such a powerful sentence because it is a man with a plan who knows exactly what he wants, and that is incredibly attractive. In the initial dating phase, just planning dates and fun things to do together is so attractive to women. Men being able to lead and being able to plan is just important for us. And once you come to a place of being in a more serious relationship, planning a future together or just having your own plans and dreams about what you want to conquer in the world and what you've set out to do, that is irresistible to a woman. We want to be with a man who we can trust to lead the way for our lives and our future. Pursue. Now let's talk about pursuing the woman. In the initial dating phase, I think most men are pretty good at pursuing a woman that they really want. Most of you guys know it takes some work to get the girl, and you're willing to put in the work for it too, until you continue wanting her, or once you know that you have her, whichever comes first. When it comes to pursuing in a long-term relationship, that is where most men just tend to miss the mark. What men don't understand is that relationships are a lot like a bank account. You keep on depositing money into your account, and that is how you have a positive bank balance, right? And if you need to buy something, like let's say you just want to buy an expensive pair of shoes or something, then you make a withdrawal from that bank account to be able to buy those shoes. And now your existing bank balance dips down a little bit. Relationships are a lot like that bank account. When you spend quality time, when you eat dinner together or sit and talk about your dreams, that's when you're increasing your emotional relationship bank balance. But on the flip side, when you have an argument over whose turn it is to do the dishes again, or you forgot her birthday, or maybe you've just been busy with a deadline at work and you just haven't found the time to be able to spend some quality time together in the last few months. Life happens. And those are times that when you pull from that existing bank balance. Your relationship bank balance could go into the negative in one or two ways. The first is that you make one massive withdrawal from the relationship account, and the relationship cannot recover from that blow. That might happen if you have an affair, or cheat on your partner, or she suddenly finds out that you've gambled up all your savings silently away. Or you can also have a gradual decline from the relationship account by constantly getting angry over little things and nagging and complaining to your partner about every little thing without ever taking the time to invest in the relationship. Those relationships just wither away and they slowly die on the vines without you even realizing. And then you look around and you wonder what happened. We often hear that relationships are a lot of work, and the key to having a long-term healthy relationship is in maintaining that positive emotional bank balance within the relationship. In most traditional heterosexual relationships, women's emotional needs tend to be higher than that of men. So having a practice of consistently contributing towards that emotional bank balance, it just helps you maintain a healthy relationship balance. It also doesn't have to be like this whole big production every time and, planning for dinner and a daunting task. Just simply taking the time to appreciate what your partner already does. It's just such an easy way to make consistent deposits to your relationship bank account. Like saying, thank you so much. Dinner was so good today. Those little things like that. Or, oh, wow, you got a new promotion. That's amazing. You put in so much work and I'm not even surprised. Just little things like that, and acknowledging them and appreciating them and saying thank you for going to pick up the kids' report cards or for parent-teacher conference because I was slammed at work. I don't know what I would do without you. Those little deposits go such a long way. Women are biologically programmed to be childbearers. They have a subconscious need to know that the man is reliable and he'll stick around and care for the child with her, even if she's not in her childbearing years or doesn't even want to have children. This emotional need of needing that security blanket still exists within most women. A woman's need for security and safety is so foundational for the relationship that she is able to take seriously. She needs to know that the man she is with is reliable and able to protect her and her children should she ever need that protection. Women especially have a deep need to know that they will be loved and accepted as their most vulnerable selves, and to know that you'll be there to catch her if she were to ever fall. Well, if you enjoyed this content, thank you for staying with me till the end. Don't forget to subscribe. And with that, thank you so much. See you all next week.